March is officially here, which means that it's actually spring, and I'm so excited to get my hands dirty outside in the garden planting a lot of different things. And today we're going to be talking about everything that you can get started on in March. Today we're going to be talking about a 7A zone, which is where we are located. Definitely look into your zone specifically, but if you are in the northeast of the US, which is where we are, then a lot of these things will probably be pretty similar to you. Now, we've already been talking about a few things that we've got going on, so you may know some of them, but we are going to zoom in on specifically some cold hardy items you can get started in the garden. We'll talk about some herbs, some bulbs, you can get some nice flowers in, some nice bare root items, as well as some beautiful trees. So let's jump into the garden and pick out some of the plants that we'll be putting in our garden today. Wow, it is beautiful outside today. I think it's 65. I don't even know why I have this vest on. I honestly am probably gonna take it off in just a bit, but I'm really excited to be back in our garden, sitting and rifling through my seed binder. Now, I love to organize my seeds in a seed binder. I think it keeps everything really organized, and it's really easy to work through because most of the time it just fits your little seed baggies. Sometimes it doesn't. I have some big pea bags over here that we'll actually start using today, but you can grow a lot of things in March that we're going to find in this binder. And some of those things are going to be some of your more cold hardy plants. So I'm going to rifle through here, pick out some, and we'll go through each of them together. First thing that I love to get in the ground are going to be the leafy greens. So these are going to be things like lettuce, spinach, Swiss chard, kale. These are going to do really, really well in the colder weather, and you can definitely sprinkle these throughout your garden in a lot of different areas, and you'll have your own pickings. We love to do some successional seeding here, so we'll be planting these throughout the season so that we always have some nice fresh greens. And these will also go into the later colder months towards the end, closer to fall season as well. The next family of plants that you can start to get in the ground are going to be your brassica. So these are going to be things like broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage, Brussels sprouts. These are going to do really well in the cold weather as well, and they tend to have a little bit longer of a season, so definitely get them into the ground as soon as you can. The next items that we like to grow are going to be some of our root vegetables. So these are going to be things like our beautiful carrots, which I love to have a lot of carrots in the ground. I'm a big carrot fan. I will definitely overseed our carrots and then come in, clean them up. So we will talk a little bit more about carrots as we do start to grow these. And then you can also get some of your radishes in the ground as well. And lastly, our favorite thing to grow is going to be some peas as well. So you can do a variety of different peas that you can start to get into your garden. And I suggest doing some of these where they can climb up, because they are going to be usually a climbing type of vegetable. So you will want to make sure that they have an area that they can climb and grow, and it's easy to get to some of the pickings from these guys. Many herbs thrive in zone 7 during the cooler temperatures of spring. Plants like parsley, cilantro, chives, thyme, oregano, sage, and mint. So I love to get these in the ground, and some of them are actually going to be perennials, not only annuals. So choose to grow them in some areas where you're okay if they come year in and year out. Some of our oregano is thriving in a nice sunny pot, and it just keeps coming back every year. I also like to place these throughout different pots or different beds. This way you can have them, and they're usually going to be pretty complementary to some other plants as well. They're going to help ward off some buggies because of the scents, and they can help cut back on anyone eating from them. So definitely look at some of the plants that are more complementary to each other and plant some of these herbs where you can complement some of the other plants they're going to be getting in the ground as well. March is an ideal time to also get some of your perennial flowers and shrubs in as well. Now in the fall, I actually planted a bunch of tulips and daisies, but if you didn't get yours in yet, you can still get them in now, along with a few other varieties. Now you can see over here, I have all of my tulips dotting in here, and I love to get a lot so that every year you can have them keep coming back. That's probably one of my favorite gifts that keeps on giving, is having a lot of these bulb plants. So I don't think of it as much as an expense as it is an investment in my property. Some other great plants that you can be doing at this time are going to be daylilies, hostas, irises, peonies, daffodils, tulips, and hydrangeas. If you like fruits and berries, then this is also a great time to get some of your berry bushes in the ground, things like raspberries, blueberries, blackberries. We're actually doing a whole new section in our garden with some of these tins here where we're going to be uprooting what we have. We have a bunch of grapevines here. We're going to be moving these into a grape orchard area and growing them out so they can be nice, lush trees and not necessarily just vines over here. And we're going to be turning these bins into our berry bushes. So I have another bin. We have a lot of dirt that we need to fill, but this is going to be the best time to actually get some berry bushes in the ground. So March is an amazing time. But not only do you have to think about getting berry bushes, you can also think about putting a bigger investment in your property with fruit trees. And earlier this summer, I guess this spring, I wish it was summer. This spring I shared a video on how we are building out our orchard, and fruit trees are a great item to be adding to your property in March. You can add things like apple, pear, cherry, along much more different types of fruit trees. We added some apricots, some nectarines this season, and it's a really great time to plant them. Once the ground is not frozen and workable, you can start adding some of these bare root fruit bushes, any other fruit sizes, as well as some of those fruit trees. Now, something that I have noticed is usually in the fall, there is some better discounting on these because you're going into the winter season. They're just not as popular. So if you are shopping at big box stores like Home Depot, Lowe's, I would definitely, if you want to find cheaper trees, I would wait until that time of year and you can usually get some better pricing. But sometimes we're just eager beavers like me and you want to get things in the ground as soon as you can so you can start reaping the benefits. Not only do you have to start thinking about adding vegetables to your gardens, but you can also start to think about adding some beauty and some flowers. You can start thinking about adding some annuals to your garden as well. Now, this is a great time where you can either start them from seed or transplant in some annuals into your garden and start to get some color, some flair going into the spring and summer season. Now, we have a lot of flowers that we like to input into our garden. We have sections that we like to have cut flowers in, and some flowers that you can start during this time are going to be pansies, violas, snapdragons, calendula, and sweet peas. There's definitely a lot more, and we talked about some bulbs like your tulips, daffodils, as well as many more. Plant them as soon as the ground is workable and you'll start to see some of that beauty. If you do actually have any type of grasses in your property, a nice time to get some of your cooler grasses in the ground is going to be now as well. This is when you can start to overseed your lawns and get some really nice vibrant grasses growing for the season. So choose a nice cool season grass that you can start to get in now. If you're like me, you want to start the season as early as you can, and if it's way past March, then don't worry. This is what you can learn from for next year, and stay tuned because this year we're going to be doing a large focus on what you can be growing in your garden, tips and tricks for the garden. So if you aren't already subscribed, then hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you guys again next week. Bye.